first topic, numero uno, my daughter, Ashley Willies. She's going to drop in on us to talk to her dad. You know what? My daughter had a stroke in January, and I am so damn proud of what she has done thus far. She's a medical student. She's up the gazoo in medical bills. And let me tell you, though, the power that she has shown over what has happened over the years, folks. It's monumental. And I told her, I begged her to be on the show today. I said, just come and tell people how you're doing after the stroke. But without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome my daughter, Ashley Willies. Ashley Willies. How are you doing today, my daughter?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine. Oh, you think your dad's crazy for that kind of intro, huh?
That was so much.
Anyway, welcome to Politics Done Right, Ashley Willies. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Well, look here. You had a stroke back in January,
January.
and I mean, I have to say, Linda E says hi. Bridge MCP says hello, Ashley. I am so proud of how you came with the stroke. You're still going through quite a few things. Why don't you tell us a little bit, a short thing about how it happened, and secondly, how are you really doing right now?
Oh, all right. Okay, here we go. So I had a stroke, I will say, weirdly, right after my grandmother had a stroke. And it happened because I'm so young, there's something called a subarachnoid hemorrhage. It just means that instead of a clot forming, you essentially burst a vein or burst a vessel. That's what happened to me. I was born with something um, called a malformation. It's when my arteries and my veins form what I call a noodle ball
Mm-hmm.
in my head. And the noodle ball has really thin walls. And if you're stressed out, you're running, doing anything that raises your blood pressure, it can pop. And that's what happened to me.
And you are a med student, so we know you're under pressure, my dear. A hell of a lot of pressure. But
Yeah.
but now, hey, Bruce says texting Meredith to connect if she can. Your friend.
Oh,
Hey, thanks, Bruce. That's cool. Anyhow, so Ashley, so after the stroke, I mean, let me just tell you, folks, and this is right. I think we should all give our folks kudos on the things, right? My daughter, after she had the stroke, I went up there and she pulled me around her campus because she 4 days after a stroke, she could barely walk. She was blind, 50% blind, and she couldn't take light. And she drove me to her school. I mean, I drove her to the school because she wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to lose everything. Now, how much time did you lose, and are you still on schedule to get out as a fourth year?
so I am super, 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 super blessed and lucky. I am going to be graduating on time because, at least at my institution, we have this 2 month, I want to say kind of like sliding
Mm-hmm.
timeline where it's built in to our curriculum. So let's say you have to take a board exam and you want it and you need more time. They have these 2 months that some students take. It just so happened that I was not one of the students was using those 2 months. And because I had the stroke weirdly right at the end of run rotation and at the beginning of another, like it couldn't have come at a cleaner break of a line. I just took that specific 2 month rotation off because I one, I couldn't see, two, I couldn't stay awake past 6 p.m. and I just couldn't think. I couldn't really. I wasn't the normal
And
Ashley.
the
I was
headaches were terrible. I remember
headaches,
that
and then
well.
like I was out like a light all the time, wobbly. It wasn't fun, and trying to take care of patients, it's a liability. Because if I'm not 100, why in the world would I go and take care of somebody else? Like that's irresponsible. So, the school came in and was like, sit down, heal, come back later, and so that's what happened.
So you kind of
And
you kind of took it slow for 2 months, but I'm not going to forget to tell you that she still went to, even that period that they told her to stay home. She went to school to do one class. I don't, you know.
yes, I did. So I we have an ethics course, excuse me, an ethics course. Which, if you are in any health profession, nursing, PT, pharmacy, no matter what, you had to take this course in the United States. And I wasn't. It's like it's done over one semester at my school, I wasn't about to like make that up in my fourth year because we usually do it during my third year, and it requires like discussions and breaking down actual legalities, and I just wasn't. I don't want to mess with it, and so against my dean's advice, I showed up because it was 1 hour in the evening a week, including, oh, that's right, it was 4 hours a week, but it was in one evening. And I felt that I was able to do that.
Well, that was good because it kind of kept you also on schedule. Now, Ashley, tell us about how are you feeling with regards to how do you feel with regards to how any deficits? What are your implications with the stroke?
Yeah. So what's really cool and terrible is that we always, at least I do, in my exams, we always talk about patients that have like deficits after a stroke. Like, oh, they have a stroke, so then one side of their face is down, or oh, they have a stroke, so they can't move one side, they can't walk. I was super lucky, and I lost 50%, and then I gained about 30% of that back, 30 or more. I have a very much a blind spot, but I can majority see everything. Very, 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 very lucky and excited about that. Um, because my treatment for my noodle
AVM,
ball in my head
right?
required radiation, which is weird. You know, you're like, radiation, you don't have cancer. Well, this particular noodle ball kind of acts like a cancer because it grows exponentially without any checks and balances of the body. So because of that, we treat with radiation and it collapses on itself and hopefully disintegrates and my body just like gets rid of it. That procedure was done about 5, 6 months ago. And I was told that, as time goes on, I may get more deficits, which means you lose ability to do something, or I may regain the deficits that I had already incurred earlier this year. Now I have weakness in my foot, weakness on my left arm. And when I say weakness, meaning like I can't do with force as much as I would like to. My coordination is off on the left side. You can't tell now, but I have a little bit of a droop on my left side on my face. So if I sound a little woozy, that's why. I'm not inebriated. I just had a stroke. So that's
Okay,
all.
look, Tank 28 wants to know what discipline are you going into?
Okay, so I'm going into family medicine. And so in med school, family medicine is seen as like,
Actually, I'm sorry, it was Breach MCP who asked that. Sorry, Breach. Go ahead.
oh, so it was like, it seems it's like the catch all specialty. However,
Right.
I actually really liked it because it's primary care and it's kind of what we need right now. And people really be sleeping on family care, on family medicine, which is funny because anytime I go to a specialty, let's say it's like ear, nose, and throat, ENT doctor, or let's say you go to a surgeon, the only way you can get to an ENT or to a surgeon, besides through the emergency room, is through your primary care doctor. Because they're the ones who know you the best, and they are the ones who are supposed to foster this relationship with you and with your health. And that's what I wanted to do. And so I'm going into family medicine. I get to see people from the cradle to the grave, and I'm really excited
That is great.
about
Well, from the time you were growing up and talking about being a doctor, you always said you wanted to take care of the underprivileged. You wanted to do all those things. So I think that's good. And even though you don't want to say, sometimes things that happen in your life can be a blessing in disguise. It actually gives you You've always had empathy, but it even gives you another level of empathy in dealing with other things that people may go through.
I mean, I have so many stories. I'll just tell a quick 30-second story about a patient I had last week. This patient apparently needed chemo and radiation and wasn't used to radiation. They've only had chemo in the past, and they're like, I don't know what radiation is, and they're freaked out about it. I actually could tell them what it would feel like. And that was super weird for me, but really cool because if you don't go through it, you can say what other people have told you, but going through it personally is a different kind of vibe.
Absolutely. So well, Ashley, I told you when you came on, we don't want to talk politics here. You're a med student and all that kind of stuff, so I can understand that. So, but I just wanted to bring you on because after talking to you today earlier, I just said, God, I'm so damn proud of how you've come through this and coming through this, and even as the deficits come, you just live over it. So, look, thank you very much for being a part or being here on Politics Done Right, and you have a wonderful day. We'll talk a little later. Beautiful, love you.
Bye.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.